the son of a Polish immigrant who grew up in a Brooklyn tenement. He went to public schools, then college, where the work of his life began, fighting injustice and inequality, speaking truth to power. He moved to Vermont, won election and praised as one of America's best mayors. In Congress, he stood up for working families and for principle, opposing the Iraq War, supporting veterans. Now he's taking on Wall Street and a corrupt political system, funded by over 1 million contributions, tackling climate change to create clean energy jobs, fighting for living wages, equal pay, and tuition-free public colleges.
People are sick and tired of establishment politics, and they want real change.
Bernie Sanders, husband, father, grandfather, an honest leader building a movement with you to give us a future to believe in.
I'm Bernie Sanders, and I approve this message.
So go to bernie.to/win. Sign up right now. Now, if someone doesn't have a smartphone where you are, or is having trouble, let them sign up on your phone. Make sure everyone signs up. You're going to have a great time with awesome people, and you're going to help win the Democratic presidential nomination for Bernie. Now, we asked you to gather together across the country because Bernie wanted to speak directly to you, his best supporters. So without further delay, here is Senator Bernie Sanders.
Well, Becky, thank you so much. And let me just begin by reminding all of you who are at the 2,000 house parties across this country. I want you to appreciate what you have accomplished, not me, but what you have accomplished. We started this campaign with something like 3% in the national polls. We started this campaign with no money, no political organization, and nobody, none of the media, none of the experts thought that we were anything more than a fringe canvassing. Well, 9 months have come and gone. And now we have hundreds of thousands of volunteers in every state in this country. Now what we have done also is to break our dependency, political dependency on super PACs. What we have said is, you know what, in this campaign, these are the folks we represent. We don't represent Wall Street. We don't represent the billionaire class. We don't want a super PAC. And a lot of the experts said, how can you possibly run a national campaign where you need to raise hundreds of millions of dollars? How can you do it without a super PAC? And we said, we're just going to go out to the American people. And we're going to ask them to support us if they want to see a transformation of American society. And that's what they did. And at the end of 9 months, we have received over 2.5 million individual contributions, more contributions than any candidate in the history of the United States of America up until this point. And on top of that, our average contribution, get this, is $27. So what we are showing uniquely in modern American history is that you can run a campaign without begging billionaires in Wall Street for money for your super PAC. We can do it through a campaign of the people, by the people, and for the people. And the reason that our campaign is gaining so much momentum, the reason, as Becky said, why we are probably ahead now in New Hampshire, running neck and neck here in Iowa, and doing well all over this country, is that our message is resonating with the American people. All across this country, people know that the economy today is rigged. They understand that it is wrong, that working families have to work longer hours and earn lower wages, that people have to work 2 or 3 jobs, while almost all of the new income and wealth is going to the top 1%. They understand that it is an obscenity that today the top 1/10 of 1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%, and that the 20 wealthiest people in our country own more wealth than the bottom half of America. But it is not just the massive level of income and wealth inequality that gets the American people upset. It is also the understanding that we have a corrupt campaign finance system that is undermining American democracy. Now, you can be a conservative, you can be a progressive, you can be a moderate, but nobody I know thinks that American democracy is about billionaires like the Koch brothers being able to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to buy elections. So you add a rigged economy to a corrupt campaign finance system, to the fact that millions of young people are struggling to figure out how they're going to be able to go to college and not leave school deeply in debt. And then you throw in the reality that the scientific community is united in telling us that climate change is real, that it is caused by human activity, that it is already causing devastating problems in our country around the world, and that we have a Republican Party so indebted to the fossil fuel industry, they cannot even acknowledge the reality of climate change. And you have a situation where in America today, people know, you don't have to be black to know this, you don't have to be Latino to know this, you don't have to be white to know this, that we have a broken criminal justice system in which we have more people in jail today in this great country, more people in jail than in China. In any other country on earth, we have more people in jail. 2.2 million people, spending $80 billion a year to lock up Americans. And people know that is not right. That what we have got to do is address this broken criminal justice system. That we're not going to tolerate longer institutional racism. We're seeing unarmed people being shot by police. So we're going to hold police departments accountable. That we are going to do away with minimal sentencing. That in fact, our vision is to have the best educated workforce on earth, not more people in jail than any other country. And people understand that there's something wrong today when we have 11 million people in our country who are undocumented. People who are being exploited, people who are living in fear, people who are living in the shadows. And they understand that we have got to move not in the direction of racism and bigotry and xenophobia from Donald Trump and others, but in a way to move forward with comprehensive immigration reform and a path towards citizenship for all those who are in this country today. So bottom line is that, in fact, we are in the process of doing something that nobody ever dreamed could happen. We have converted what was thought to be a fringe campaign to a campaign which has the establishment shaking. They are shaking. They are worried that if we win here in Iowa, we're going to do really well in New Hampshire. And if we win in Iowa and New Hampshire, let me tell you, we're doing better and better in South Carolina and Nevada. And if we win those states, we have a real path to victory. And if the polls are any indicator, we are already running way, way ahead of Donald Trump in national polls. Yeah, we can beat him. And not only can we beat him, we can beat him big. Because the American people are not into that kind of racism and bigotry. They want us to come together to fight for a nation that belongs to all of us and a government that represents all of us. Now, the reason that we can accomplish all of that is not me, it is you. It is the willingness of so many thousands and thousands of people to make phone calls, to get on the phone, to make small campaign contributions. All of that is what the political revolution is about. It is saying that when ordinary people stand together, when we work hard, we can in fact take on the billionaire class. And there is nothing that together we cannot accomplish. So let me just thank all of you for being out this afternoon. Thank you for the work you have done. We are on a path toward victory. We can reshape American history. Let's go forward together. Thank you very much.